Jonathan Haidt, The Happiness Hypothesis, Putting Ancient Wisdom to the Test of Modern Science. Embark on a journey to explore the depths of happiness and the inner workings of our minds with The Happiness Hypothesis, Putting Ancient Wisdom to the Test of Modern Science by Jonathan Haidt. In this book's summary, you will discover the divided nature of the mind, the role of our emotions in decision-making, and the impact of external factors on our happiness. Delve deeper into the power of love and personal growth, and grasp the values of altruism and awe-inspiring experiences in enriching our lives. Demystify complex notions and gain valuable insights into achieving happiness in our modern world.
Taming the divided mind. The mind is divided into two parts, the rational rider and the emotional elephant. The metaphor suggests that the elephant is responsible for instincts and emotions, whereas the rider uses language to plan ahead and offer advice. This division is reflected in the structure of the brain, where the newer neocortex controls reasoning and inhibition, and the older limbic system is in charge of basic instincts. However, instead of using reason in decision-making, we often let our emotions take control, making the elephant more powerful than the rider. Therefore, to control our basic drives, we need to learn how to tame the elephant by using the rider's reason to make better decisions. The power of positive thinking. Our brains are wired to respond more strongly to negative stimuli due to our evolutionary history. However, techniques like meditation and cognitive therapy can help us tame our inner elephant and become happier. Self-help books often mention that nothing is inherently good or bad, and it is only our thinking that makes it so. But is it really possible to change our thinking, and if so, how? The biggest hurdle in changing our thinking is our innate tendency to evaluate everything we see negatively, a trait that helped our ancestors survive by recognizing danger. As a result, our inner elephant tends to overreact with anxiety and fear to situations that may not pose a real threat. Genetic predispositions also play a role in determining our outlook on life, with some people being naturally more optimistic or pessimistic. However, we can train our elephant to be happier through daily meditation and cognitive therapy. Regular meditation can help reduce negative thinking patterns and transform our outlook on life into a more positive one. Cognitive therapy involves replacing negative self-talk with positive affirmations. While our genetics may influence our level of happiness, these techniques can help us cultivate a more positive mindset. Overall, changing our thinking may not be easy, but it is possible with consistent effort and the right techniques. With these strategies, we can learn to tame our inner elephant and cultivate a more positive, optimistic outlook on life. The power of reciprocity. Humans have a natural inclination to reciprocate as it ultimately promotes survival of a group. However, this instinct can sometimes make people act against their own interest. The principle of reciprocity is so strong that people will often seek vengeance if it is violated. Struggle to acknowledge faults. We tend to ignore our faults and defend ourselves, leading to conflicts with others. This is because our subconscious mind avoids acknowledging our mistakes. The conscious mind then supports our initial reaction, causing further conflicts. We perceive the world in a binary way, believing we're always in the right. Eventually, this behavior leads to never-ending mutual blaming. To break this cycle, one must consciously make the effort to acknowledge their own mistake, which will encourage the other party to admit to theirs. The conflicts can then be resolved through sincere apologies. External factors affecting happiness. External factors influence but do not dictate our happiness, including our social connectedness, activities that match our strengths, adapting to new circumstances, and the intensity of our relationships. Our level of happiness is not just the result of external conditions but also how we think and perceive those conditions. The evolutionary perspective highlights that adapting to new circumstances has always been more important than being happy about previous ones. Hence, external events have little lasting influence on our happiness as we tend to adapt to new conditions. A study discovered that lottery winners were happier than people who were paralyzed from the neck down, but only for a brief period because they eventually returned to their former level of happiness. Still, specific external factors are crucial to our happiness, such as our social connections. We are social animals, and social relationships are vital to our well-being. In fact, lack of social connections can make us severely unhappy. People who have many friends or in happy marriages generally report higher levels of happiness. Doing the things we're good at also plays a significant role in our happiness. We feel happier when our activities match our strengths, since we will never adapt to this enjoyment. For example, a person with good interpersonal skills and is an excellent communicator will enjoy a job in PR, making her happy every day. Therefore, external factors influence but do not dictate our happiness. Understanding this concept could enable us to choose the right activities and jobs and prioritize social connections that enhance our well-being. The importance of love. Love is an essential component of our lives, providing a sense of security and belonging that we carry into adulthood. The need for attachment and security is similar to the love experienced in romantic relationships, which transitions from passionate to companionate love. While passionate love may fade, companionate love continues to grow over time. Instead of seeking to satisfy our need for romantic love with passionate love, we should focus on fostering companionate love for long-term relationships. Benefits of adversity. Research shows that adversity can yield benefits, such as boosting confidence, deepening relationships, and changing our self-concept. While children and adults over 30 are less resilient to trauma, those in their teens and 20s can benefit greatly from emotionally taxing experiences as they search for meaning during this time in their lives. Adversity can bring coherence between our personality and self-concept, leading to personal growth. Have you ever experienced a traumatic event and wondered how it can yield benefits? It's a common belief that personal growth comes only from dealing with adverse conditions, but research shows that it's not always the case. Many people suffer from profound depression after experiencing traumatic events. So how and in which cases does adversity yield benefits? The answer lies in understanding that most people who experience hardships are likely to benefit from having suffered. For instance, people often feel a boost in confidence after losing a job or a loved one, as it transforms their self-image for the better. Going through a distressing event deepens existing relationships because we have to ask for and give help in such times, bringing people closer to each other. Adversity can also provide the opportunity to change our self-concept and become more realistic about ourselves. In times of adversity, we get the chance to reflect on our self-concept. For example, losing a family member can allow us to revise our self-concept to bring it into coherence with our personality. However, in terms of making us grow, certain periods of our lives are more fruitful than others. Children are likely to be severely affected by trauma, and adults over 30 are not particularly resilient to it. On the other hand, those in their teens and 20s are able to benefit greatly, as they are often searching for meaning at this time in their lives. Emotionally taxing experiences, like a breakup, provide them with the chance to find coherence between their personality and their self-concept. Trauma isn't always bad, and it can bring about positive changes if we are open to them. Adversity can bring coherence between our personality and self-concept, leading to personal growth. The training of virtue. This book explores the concept of virtue throughout history and its relevance today. The Western approach to morality is thought-based, rather than practice-based, which is flawed because it does not change behavior. To become truly virtuous, we must train our elephant, or our instinctual and emotional self, by practicing altruistic behavior. This leads to a meaningful and connected life, which is essential for happiness. Additionally, living in a community with shared values and rules promotes coherence between our rational and emotional selves, resulting in increased happiness. The power of awe. Our modern Western world has diminished religion's role, yet we all possess a divinity scale for holiness perception. Awe-inspiring experiences, whether religious or not, can make us happier and better people. Awe occurs when we encounter something beyond our existing mental structures, and it connects us to something much greater than ourselves. This sense of awe can also connect us to others, especially in group activities. However, our practical society fails to make room for divine experiences, leaving most of us feeling like we're missing something essential. Awe-inspiring experiences. Religion is not a significant part of the modern Western world. However, religion still offers something valuable: awe-inspiring experiences. Awe is essential to humanity, and it connects us to something greater than ourselves, making us happier people. Awe is not just limited to religion, even atheists experience it. We experience awe when something surpasses our mental structures, like observing the stars or watching someone perform a great moral deed. Such experiences make us feel connected to others, especially when done in a group setting like prayer or chanting. Unfortunately, the secular Western world does not make room for divine experiences, causing a lack of awe and importance in most people's lives. We should strive to have more awe-inspiring experiences, whether religious or not, to become happier and better people.
In conclusion, the happiness hypothesis offers a thought-provoking look into the complexities of human happiness and the divided mind. With valuable insights on training our instincts for optimism, the significance of reciprocation, the importance of social connections, and the deeper understanding of love, this book serves as a guide to enhance our overall well-being. Embrace adversity as an opportunity for personal growth and cultivate healthy relationships to truly elevate your happiness. Learning to experience awe and pursue altruistic actions can guide us towards a more meaningful and fulfilling life.